well for him, and his first 2 bouts will work in the third. If it does, he'll go through to the light heavyweight semifinals with at least a bronze medal. This then shapes up as the biggest fight of Troy Ross's young career. The opponent is Vasily Jirov of Kazakhstan, nothing less than number 3 in the world. We talked about the tough draw the Canadians got at these games. Has anyone had a tougher draw than Troy Ross? He faced world number 4 in his first bout, KO'd Roland Reform of Seychelles. Now he gets world number 3, so it's just getting tougher for Ross, but he's up to the challenge, Coach Anver.
You know, you said this is his toughest day, the toughest fight of his career, and if he wins this, the next one's going to be the toughest fight of his career.
He's the youngest member of the Canadian team, but he showed poise and patience beyond his 20 years in his KO victory over Reform of Seychelles. Also poise and patience in his round of 16 win against Paul Mabongo of Cameroon. So we're underway here in round 1 of this light heavyweight quarterfinal. Canada's Troy Ross in the red against Vasily Jirov of Kazakhstan in the blue.
And Jirov has come out as a southpaw in this round. He was a right-hander the last time we looked at him, but he's come out as a southpaw, thinking that probably the southpaw style will offset Troy Amos Ross, who is a southpaw himself.
Ross staggered back against the ropes.
More off balance than anything else. But the scoring point came up for Jirov.
That got a sigh from the crowd, but clearly was more of a stagger than anything else, because if it had been the force of the blow that sent him back, he would have got an 8 count. Now he's tied the bout at 2.
Jirov coming right at Troy Ross. Not much respect for the power punching of Troy Ross.
He's really going to work on Troy Ross early in this bout.
It's best for him that Jirov comes forward. That's the advantage. For Troy to have to go forward and land the shots is a little more difficult. If Jirov wants to come in, remember, he had that war with Orino from Italy in his previous bout to get to this stage, and that had to have taken something out of him.
Halfway through round number 1. Jirov still taking the fight to Troy Ross, but Ross back on even terms.
And what's difficult when you're in there with a southpaw is that the right hook doesn't become as effective as it is against a right-hander, because you're obviously turned further away. So it's a short punch to begin with, and the fact that you're turned away makes it harder to reach. But he reached it there.
The go-ahead point. Patience may have been the key factor in Ross's 2 wins. He waited for just the right time to throw the right, but with the way that Vasily Jirov is taking the fight to him, Coach Amber, is defense the key here?
Defense is definitely the key, and this guy has taken some hard shots from Troy Ross and is still coming forward. Now, he's been throwing the harder of the 2, so let's just see if he's got anything in the reserve tank by the time the 3rd round comes along. He doesn't look like he wants it to go to 3.
Jirov came out like a house on fire, really going to work on Troy Ross, but a nice display of boxing by Ross, who's come back to take the lead.
That's a slip. No 8 count there. He missed the shot. Got tagged with a straight shot, put everything through it.
He put himself down with his own right. The overhand right that hit nothing but air, and Ross went flying to the canvas. Again, the crowd sighs, but no 8 count, and so clearly just a slip. About tied at 4, late in round 1.
Troy has to be careful. He doesn't need to get into those big swinging shots. He doesn't want to tire himself out. That takes a lot out from you when you take those big swinging shots and then miss the target altogether. He just wants to keep it short.
Round 1 runs out. The bout is tied. The Ross family contingent of these games is large. 8 to 10 members of the family here, and of course the Canadian team watching Ross, and there they are on the stands here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Of course, Ross, one of 2 medal hopes who remain for Canada. 3 Canadians got to the quarterfinals. Mike Strange lost yesterday at lightweight. David DeFiabon won to clinch at least a bronze in the heavyweight class. We couldn't have had a more controversial day for Canadians yesterday, and now Ross getting his instructions from Dwight Frazier in the corner. The 3rd Canadian in the quarterfinals, facing Jirov of Kazakhstan.
There was the exchange. That was the tumbling shot. Troy was throwing a shot at the same time and got clipped on the top of the headgear. No knockdown there, just an off-balance shot. Here's the big wind-up from Troy Ross. He can't afford to be missing with shots like that. Look at the perimeter that punch took.
He was going for the home run shot there. All right, second round begins in this light heavyweight quarterfinal. Again, it's Canada's Troy Ross in the red, Vasily Jirov of Kazakhstan in the blue. And they are on even terms to begin this round.
Jirov continues to box as a southpaw. That's taken away so far Troy's best weapon, which is the right hook, because he's further away. And Troy has to be very careful. He must continue to finish with the right hook, even though, there it is again, the big shot that he's falling off balance with. He's expecting it to land, and it's going through thin air, and it's knocking him over. It's knocking himself over. Oh, good uppercut from Troy Ross. Troy's hurt.
A hard left from Vasily Jirov has staggered Troy Ross, and he'll take a standing 8 count. The hook from Jirov caught Ross flush. Suddenly, Jirov is in front by 3.
There it is again, underneath. Southpaws hate to fight southpaws.
The left starting to be the payoff punch for Vasily Jirov.
There it is again. Troy just has to keep moving away from it. He's got to be careful not to move into that left hand. He's got to keep moving to his own left to stay away from the left hand and then be able to land that hook.
Well, suddenly in round 2, after that standing 8 count, things have turned around, and Vasily Jirov is assuming control of this bout.
Jirov not showing any effect so far of that fight with Arino from Italy in what was a war. They both went at it. He had to reach right down to pull that victory out over Arino, but showing no ill effects of it here today against Troy Ross.
He was very impressive on his way to this quarterfinal. He stopped Gonzalez of Mexico and then pounded out the decision over the tough Italian, Pietro Arino.
Troy showing good composure to recover from that. He's got to get the hands up. Good. Jirov trying to go back with the shot that hurt Troy Ross in the first place.
Now Jirov has doubled up Troy Ross in the score. 10-5, final minute of round number 2. I think Ross might be happy just to get to his corner and get some instruction between rounds and get a breather.
What he needs to do, Jirov, the one thing he's been doing beautifully is he's been staying out of the punching range of Troy Ross. Look at him. Every time Troy throws, he's about 6 inches away from where Troy's glove is. His sense of range is perfect. Troy has not been able to land the shots. And it seemed in the fight with Arino that Jirov was easy to hit. Arino had no problem hitting him, racked up a bunch of points, over 14 points on him. And now he's staying well out of the range of Troy Ross's power.
Ross has tried to land his power punch, that thundering right, several times in this bout, but has hit nothing but air.
But Arino has found the target a few times, primarily with that left hand.
And the score reflects that, Coach Amber, as Troy Ross heads to his corner, down by at least 5 points. What might Dwight Frazier be saying to him?
Well, the first thing they're going to ask him, are you all right? The second thing they're going to tell him is, watch out for that left hand. That's the shot he's looking for. There it was, underneath. Now, you see Troy moving to his own right, walks into the left hand of the southpaw. Now, against a right-hander, that's fine. That's the proper way to move. But against a southpaw, you're walking into the power shot. And there's where Troy keeps falling short with that right hook. He's making the right moves, but he's falling short with the right hook. He's making the right moves, but he's falling short with the right hook. Jirov being very smart in staying out of range of that shot.
There's a summary of the score. Ross down by 6. Coach Amber, I suggest, is going to take the best round of Troy Ross's amateur career to pull this one out.
You know, and it's going to be risky, too, because he's got to take it to Jirov. He can't be laying back because Jirov has the lead. He's going to have to take it, and he's got to watch the power of Jirov because Jirov's got some dynamite in that left hand.
Third round underway. Troy Ross of Brampton in the red against Vasily Jirov of Kazakhstan in the blue. Some of the steam went out of Troy Ross when he had to take a standing 8 count in the second round. We'll see if he's got his legs back now in round 3. Another scoring shot comes up for Vasily Jirov.
And he's cut under the eye. Doesn't look to be a big one. Won't be a factor in the fight. You know, I tell you from experience, Scott, that southpaws hate fighting southpaws.
Ross just landed the right.
This is what I mean. Troy will have to take it to him and try to stay in close quarters. He's got nothing to lose now. He's got to go for it.
And he is
There's
going
the
for
hard
it.
bomb.
Oh, look at this. He's close to within 4. Ross going to work on Vasily Jirov.
And he should stay downstairs on this guy. Slow him down a little bit. Make him drop his hands. That's a slip.
As he waded in, he took a shot, but again, it was a slip.
That was a slip.
Still within 4.
He's got to get down on those body shots. Jirov's doing it. Troy's got to get right back into that closer range and just open up like he did there. Keep Jirov on the defensive. There's that left uppercut again from Jirov.
But it did not come up. Don't ask why. Troy Ross still within 4.
There's Jirov. When he's at long range, he's got the advantage. No points came up though for Jirov on that straight exchange flurry. The uppercut again, that falls short. Troy's got to let his hands go. He can't throw the one shot at a time. He's got to do what he just did at the outset.
Halfway through round 3, and you're right, he has to mount some offense here. The Canadian corner cautioned to remain quiet. No coaching allowed from the corner. Every fan in the building can bellow at the top of his or her lungs, but the coach is not allowed to say anything.
Slight amount of sarcasm there, Mr. Oak.
Well, Troy Ross is trying to pull it out here in round 3. He has tried to track Vasily Jirov down from the outset of this round.
That's where he's got to do some work. He's got to get in closer and start with the body. He's head-hunting too much. Get down on that body. They seem to be scoring them now. Or are they only scoring them for certain fighters? I don't know. Oh, there's the left uppercut again. And a taller fighter will use that against a shorter man.
Body shot certainly cost Mike Strange yesterday in his loss to Toncho Tonchev of Bulgaria, but Russ says we're in the final minute of round 3. It's fast shaping up as the miracle punch required by Troy Ross to pull this out.
He's got to let his hands go. He's punching from too far away. Got to get in a little bit closer. Start with the body and then work your way up.
30 seconds to go in round 3 now. Can Troy Ross get the 5 points he needs to tie it? Would seem unlikely.
He needs to let his hands go. He's not letting his hands go, and Jirov is on his bike, staying out of harm's way. There he is again, slips away to the left, to the right, moves, back over to the left.
Jirov has just been too slippery, too evasive for Ross in round number 3. 10 seconds to go.
That body shot got through. That left hand is heavy-handed from Jirov. You know, he didn't show this kind of boxing skill against Orino. This was not the guy. We picked this guy to come here and go to war with Troy Ross, and he outboxed him. That's what he did. He outboxed him.
Well, that's it. Troy Ross wins 2, loses 1 here at the Olympic Games, and this loss keeps him out of the medals. Gave it his best shot in the 3rd round, Russ.
He sure did, you know, and I mean, you can't ask any more from him for that. He tried, but just too slippery. And, you know, had they watched the videotapes of this guy's fight, of Jirov's fight with Orino, never would they have seen this style, because that's not what we saw in it at all. I mean, in the fight with Orino, he was all over Orino. He was looking like the slugger type guy. He got hit with all kinds of shots. But against Troy Amos Ross, who I don't know if he had trouble with the southpaw style, but for whatever reason, Jirov looked like a defensive genius.
Ross has boxing bloodlines. Father Charles boxed for Guyana in the '68 games. The sport's big in the Ross family. Troy's the cousin of '88 silver medalist Egerton Marcus. There's confirmation of the decision. Vasily Jirov gets it on points, 14-8 the count. And so Troy Ross is done. Vasily Jirov goes on to the semifinals with at least a bronze for Kazakhstan. You're watching CBC's live and exclusive coverage of the Centennial Olympic Games from Atlanta. Especially in the 3rd round, but would you agree that in the end you were just beaten by a better fighter on this day?
Well, exactly. I would say I was beaten by a better fighter. Maybe if it was my day, maybe it would have been a whole different story, but I really can't say anything about that. He gave it his all, and I gave mine in the last round, and the way the decision went, that's the way it goes in boxing sometimes. So maybe you'll see me in a couple years fighting again, but right now I just want to take a vacation.
Well, you're only 20. I should imagine you have plans for boxing beyond this.
I don't know right now. Right now, like I said before, I just want to take a vacation, get boxing out of my head. Don't want to hear about boxing for now. But it was great that I got down to the Olympics and everything. I gave it all I got. I really can't say anything about the other guy. Just that I was beaten by a better opponent, and that's the way I came down into this tournament. The only way I was going to lose was to get either outboxed or stopped by just by a lucky punch, and that's what he did today, and he was very victorious in that way. So I'm proud of myself, like I said before, and I was beaten by a better opponent today. So
I don't want to push you on this, Troy, but the Ross family boxes, that's what they do.
Oh yeah, that is what they do. But we have other things that we do too. So like me, I'm in creative fashion right now. So I'm just gonna go back to school and finish that off.
One final question about the bout: did his southpaw style throw you off? Because he seemed to take away any possibility of the left-right combination that worked so well for you in your first two fights.
Well, southpaws always throw me off. It's a whole different style. It's just awkward when I get in the ring. But I really can't say nothing about him beating me on southpaw. It was just today was his day, and he was a very good boxer, like I said.
Yeah, he was a quality opponent, no question about that. Troy, I want to thank you for your time. Congratulations, you fought well at these Olympic Games.
Thank you, Scott.